Hey everybody, I'm back in Hong Kong right now. This is my review of the Oppo Reno Ace. I've been using this phone for the past 5 days in Hong Kong and in Taipei. So first I want to take a second to thank my sponsor NordVPN. Now back to the Reno Ace. So my first video about 5 days ago, when I made that video, I actually didn't know the price of this phone. And so when I made the first video of this Oppo Reno Ace, I thought this phone would sell for maybe like 600 bucks, 550. So imagine my surprise when I heard the pricing. The Oppo Reno Ace starts at 2999 RMB. That converts to 420 US dollars. So this phone starts at 420 bucks. And at this price, I don't know what more is there to say. You have a Snapdragon 855 that's perfect for gaming, and it's among one of the most powerful chipsets out there. You have a gorgeous 6.5 inch display OLED screen with a fast fingerprint reader and 90 Hertz refresh rate that's super smooth, super fluid. You have a headphone jack and stereo speakers too, so this phone is great for gaming and watching K-pop videos. You have a very capable quad camera system headlined by a 48 megapixel main sensor with a wide angle lens and a telephoto zoom lens and a monochrome sensor. So you have a very versatile focal length that can get us close to like 1.6 centimeters macro shots to 20 times digital zoom. And the software on this thing is pretty good. Android 9 with ColorOS 6.1 on top, and I've already gone on and on about ColorOS 6. I actually think it's pretty good. It's not the best, it's not as good as Oxygen OS, but it's still among one of the best Android skins out there. And overall build quality is excellent. You have a glass back, Gorilla Glass back and front, aluminum chassis. Everything fits in the hand pretty nicely. So 420 bucks for this whole package. There's not much to complain. I mean, of course, if I want to nitpick, I can. If you put the Oppo Reno Ace side by side with a Galaxy Note 10 or a Huawei Mate 30 Pro, then the Oppo Reno Ace still looks, a little bit like the bezels are chunkier and there's a notch. And, overall the screen's completely flat, so it's not as sexy as a Mate 30 Pro. And obviously, you have something like Galaxy Fold, which is like way better, superior technology. But that's not fair to compare all those phones to the Reno, right? The Oppo Reno Ace sells for 420 bucks. Those other phones I just mentioned, they start from $1,000 all the way up to $2,000. So really, if you go by just dollar value, the Oppo Reno Ace is pound for pound the best phone right now. I mean, there are cheaper phones, but they don't have a 90 Hertz screen. The 90 Hertz screen makes a huge difference to me. I don't really care about Quad HD resolution anymore. I want 90 Hertz refresh rate. Every time I use Oppo Reno Ace or OnePlus 7T and I jump back to a phone with a 60 Hertz refresh screen, it just does not look as good. Okay, now let's dig into the camera. So as mentioned, there's a 48 megapixel main sensor with an f1.7 aperture. This is a Sony IMX lens, so it's pretty proven and it's pretty top notch. The camera produces sharp images in accurate colors. Focusing times are fine, but they're not as fast as like a flagship like a Galaxy Note 10, but still it's pretty decent. Now the wide angle camera, it's only 8 megapixels at f2.2, so you do lose a lot of details if you zoom really close, but they're fine if you're uploading just to Instagram. And if you have good lighting, you're gonna get really good images as long as you don't zoom in. Now at night, you're gonna get photos that look a little bit noisy and just generally not that clean. But you can turn on night mode to artificially enhance colors and sharpness. The 13 megapixel telephoto lens offers 2 times lossless zoom and 5 times hybrid zoom that's almost lossless. You can even go up to 20 times zoom as mentioned, and 20 times zoom, obviously it's not the sharpest image, but it's still more than usable. Finally, we have the monochrome sensor. I'm not sure what this thing does. I mean, it seems to help with lighting and bokeh portrait images. And in general, I would say bokeh images are pretty good, so I'm not going to complain about this sensor that I'm not sure what it does exactly. Now let's look at videos. You can shoot videos all the way up to 4K, but if you shoot at 1080-30, you're going to get really smooth, really stable videos with good color accuracy and dynamic range. That's during the day. Now if you shoot videos at night, you notice that there's a lot of micro jitteriness every time I take a step. But overall, the stabilization is still respectable, and this is still a pretty good video. I mean, something like an iPhone 11 Pro can obviously shoot better videos, but this is not bad at all. The selfie camera also gets the job done. There's a beauty mode with a lot of options for those of you who like it, but otherwise it's a good, clean selfie camera. Okay, so before I continue on with the review of the Oppo Reno Ace, I'm going to put this phone aside first and take a minute to talk about my sponsor, NordVPN. So a VPN stands for Virtual Private Network, and it allows you to surf the internet securely and anonymously. Sometimes when you're using a public Wi-Fi connection, let's say you're at a train station in a foreign country, you don't know how secure that internet connection is, because how a free Wi-Fi service works is whatever you do on your phone, that data gets transmitted to that internet service provider. You don't know what that internet service provider is going to do with your information. So what a VPN does is it intercepts that route from your mobile device to your ISP. Instead, it sends the internet connection to a remote server. And NordVPN has over 5,500 servers in over 60 different countries. I mean, check out the list of countries right here. You can actually see it on the map too on NordVPN software. So if I want, I can let's pick Canada right now. So now quick connect. It shouldn't take more than 10 seconds. Oh, less than that, 5 seconds. I am now connected. So now this device thinks I am in Canada. Now there's also benefits to using a VPN outside of security, because now if I go into Netflix, now I have the Canadian Netflix. Like all these recommendations for me are for a Canadian or at least a North American audience. If I want, I can switch to Japan location, then my Netflix will be giving me Japanese content. But most importantly though, a VPN is important if you want security. If you're someone who travels a lot or you log on to public Wi-Fi networks a lot, I highly recommend you get NordVPN. Now I have a special deal for my viewers. Simply go on nordvpn.com/BG reviews and then use the promo code BG reviews. From there you'll get 70% off your purchase. After 70% off, it comes out to $3.49 US dollars a month. And on top of that, you get an extra month free. So it's a pretty good deal for software that offers full-on protection for your data. Now in terms of software, there's Android 9 with ColorOS 6.1, and like I said, it's mostly fine. Our biggest gripe with the software is that I can't bring down a notification shade by swiping just in the middle of the screen. I have to reach all the way to the top, so it's kind of annoying. But ColorOS gives you a one-hand mode. That's something Oxygen OS doesn't even give you. The side menu is also pretty useful, allows you to quickly go into shortcuts. So overall, ColorOS, like I said, it's a pretty good Android skin. Not the best, but definitely a hell lot better than Huawei's EMUI. Now in terms of battery life, it's excellent. I mean, do I even have to talk about battery life anymore in a Chinese phone? It's enough to last me all day. I can check screen on time on ColorOS, but I'm estimating at least 5 hours of screen on time. When I was in Taiwan, I was just using this heavily. No issues. They finish every day with like 20% battery life. And of course, if I need to charge, you already know this one comes with a 65 watt super fast charge that basically can pump 50% of battery into this phone in about 10 minutes. In fact, you might notice that right now my Oppo Reno Ace is running really low on battery. It's at 6%. The reason is because I'm going to try to drain this all the way down to 0, and then when that happens, I'm going to do a real-time charging test for you right here in this video, so you can see how long it takes to charge from 0 to 100. Okay, so my Oppo Reno Ace is officially out of battery. I don't know if you just saw it, but it was basically at 0%. It is exactly 0%. So the battery is dead. So now let's put the 65 watt fast charger to the test. So this is a Super VOOC 2.0, 65 watts. So let's check the timer now. It is 3:52 on October 14th, 3:52. Now let's plug in the 65 watt cable. Okay, so you see it is now officially charging. Super VOOC 2.0 at 3:53 p.m. Okay, so it's been 20 minutes. When I plugged in the phone, it was 5:53. Now it's 4:13. So now let's check the percentage. 84%. So it was at 0 20 minutes ago. Now it's at 85%. So I'm going to let this go up to 100 and see how long it takes. Okay, so it's now 4:20, so it's been 27 minutes since I plugged in the phone at 0%. And it's still at 98%. So you notice that the charging has actually slowed down significantly in the last 10%. And that's natural with lithium-ion battery. That's the technology. Like when the max charging speed is usually in the middle. And then once it gets to the final 10%, it slows down because that's the nature of the technology. So the 0 to 100 number is not going to be that impressive because it's slowed down, but the 0 to 80, it's mind-blowing. In less than 20 minutes, you can get from 0 to 80. But 0 to 100, okay, so it's reached 100, it is 422. I plugged this in at 3:53, so almost 30 minutes. So it takes 29 minutes to go from 0 to 100, but to go from 0 to 80, less than 20 minutes. Still the fastest charging phone out there, the Oppo Reno Ace. So that's about it for my review with the Oppo Reno Ace. Like I said, it ticks every box. There are minor nitpicks that you can have, but those are very, very minor. When you factor in the price, 420 bucks, this is definitely the best value on the market right now. Now, there's the Realme X2 Pro. I don't know the price of that phone yet, and it could be even cheaper. But the Realme X2 Pro and Oppo Reno Ace are basically the same phone. Like, it's just for different markets, different branding. So whatever you want to say the Realme X2 Pro is a better phone, it doesn't matter. It's not like that's a knock on Oppo. Either way, Oppo has my vote for best phone, pound for pound, dollar for dollar right now. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching.